Hey, Ghoulash here, and welcome to another episode of
The GHOULOG.
In tonight's episode, I'm going to be talking about a French horror comic called Zombillenium by Arthur Depins. You might be asking yourself, what is Zombillenium? I'm glad you asked that question because that's what this video is about. Zombillenium is about a horror theme park called, well, Zombillénium. The thing about Zombillenium, though, is that it's not just a horror theme park, it's a theme park that actually has real horrors in it. You see, the theme park is populated by real monsters. The clientele are just human beings that have no idea that the monsters that they see on the rides and in the shows and just walking around the theme park are the real thing. Completely unaware, and the comic explores the lives of these monsters that work in the theme park, essentially. Now, the first volume of Zombillenium deals with the origin of an everyman hero type of character called Aurélien. Now, Aurélien starts out as a small-time crook. He tries to rob a pub because his wife cheated on him. I don't see why he would do that, and he's unsuccessful because one of the patrons happens to be a witch that works at the local theme park. The witch thwarts him. He ends up getting run over by the owner of the theme park, Zombillenium. You know, they don't want to deal with a dead body. And the owner of the theme park happens to be a vampire named Francis. I guess maybe named after Francis Ford Coppola, who directed Bram Stoker's Dracula. So, Francis turns Aurélien into a vampire. But it doesn't end just there, though. A werewolf at the park decides, well, we have too many vampires, so let's make him a werewolf instead. So they go back and forth, just biting this guy's neck and turning him into a werewolf and a vampire. It turns out he becomes some kind of hybrid, an in-between, and he's able to turn into this demonic vampire werewolf thing. And he ends up becoming pretty much the mascot of the park, super quickly. And the comic follows his story from there as he starts to fit in with the crowd at the theme park, who aren't totally accepting of him at first. One of Aurélien's first friends in the park happens to be the one who got him there in the first place, Gretchen, the witch I mentioned earlier. Gretchen is a very interesting character. She's a punk rock gothic witch. Part of her backstory is that it's implied that she went to Hogwarts and happened to have also fucked Harry Potter, who was a pretty poor lay according to her. And you find out more about her, and Aurélien starts to become more attached to her, and their relationship grows over the course of the 3 volumes that are currently available. There are also interesting supporting characters, and the world is very rich. For instance, you find out that Zombillenium is kind of built over, essentially, hell. The zombies have their own union, so they're able to have basic rights and stuff. For certain monsters that decide not to cooperate with the theme park, they gotta work in hell. They become mortal souls once again, and they have to work and toil and live the rest of their lives in hell. So you kinda have a bit of a reason to want to work at this theme park. On to the supporting characters. There's characters like Sirius, who's this skeleton that wears a leather jacket, which is all you really need to know about Sirius. And also Adden, who really wants to get out of Zombillenium. He's a mummy, kind of self-explanatory. He really wants to get out of the theme park from the very beginning. The 3 volumes have a sort of episodic approach. It feels like you're just reading an episode of a TV show. The art is just splendid. It reminds me a lot of Genndy Tartakovsky's art style in Samurai Jack. It doesn't have outlines for the characters, so it's just solid colors. It really draws you in with Arthur Depins' art. The stories are also just really, really funny. There's a lot of great dark comedy. It looks kind of like it would appeal to young adults, but really it deals with some adult dark subject matter a lot of the time. It's definitely for a horror crowd. It's just a little softer and warmer than most horror comics that you'd see out there. Now, Zombillenium isn't just comics. It's also kind of a burgeoning franchise in France. One of the early things that came out of the Zombillenium franchise was a really cool animated music video that was CGI. It was for this band called Skip the Use, which I haven't really heard of before because he's French. The visuals are just amazing. It's well directed. It'll pique your interest to actually read the books like me. Definitely check that music video out. But the music video actually led to a full-length animated film. It's a very faithful adaptation visually of the books. Like, it has the same sort of outline-less characters, but it's all CG, and it has this sort of 2D flat sort of visual style to it, like hand-drawn, but it's CG. It's made in a computer, and it looks visually stunning. There are some changes from the books. Apparently Aurelian isn't in the movie. His character was changed to another character who's an inspector, and it seems like the movie is a lot more kid-friendly, family-friendly, which is fine. It's a great way to introduce your children, if you have children, to zombies and more monsters, or horror in general, but, you know, not necessarily show them women getting decapitated, like, right away. You know, you want to build up to that stuff a little later on. The film looks great. It just hasn't been released in America yet. It has no English dub, and I can't find it available to purchase anywhere, so hopefully it's available soon, because I really want to see it. And apparently there's a volume 4 in the comics coming soon as well. A lot of stuff to look forward to with Zombillénium, and you probably just now heard about it. Definitely check out the books and the music video if you get the chance. It's really worth a read and a watch, respectively.
Do living dead people exist for real?
What an idea!
So, Santa isn't real either?
Ah, he is. He's very real.
Alright, to wrap things up, like the video if you liked it, or dislike it, I guess. I don't really like the dislikes, but I'll take them. Also, subscribe to Dr. Wolfula's channel, and follow Dr. Wolfula's social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Be sure to check out the next video. I've been Ghoulash. You fucking weirdos.